I'm obsessed with ancient times. So for me, this guy is going to be my war horse. I'm gonna train him the old style.
What happened to the Alaskan Bush people? From remote wilderness survival to heartbreaking losses, health battles, and shocking 2025 changes, the Brown family's transformation will surprise even their most loyal fans. When Discovery Channel launched Alaskan Bush People on May 6, 2014, audiences were immediately fascinated. Here was a family of 9 choosing to live far away from modern life in the rugged Alaskan wilderness. Billy Brown and his wife, Amora Amy Brown, raised 7 children in the bush, surviving by hunting, fishing, and foraging. Trips to the nearest town were rare, sometimes only twice a month. The Browns built shelters out of wood and stone, lived by the rhythms of nature, and relied on their skills to survive where most people would never dare. The show quickly became a hit, not just because of the survival theme, but because of the family dynamics. Viewers watched as the Browns faced storms, food shortages, and deep emotional struggles. What kept people coming back was the sense of resilience and the bond that held the family together. Yet behind the inspiring story, challenges were building that would eventually change everything. Billy's legacy. Billy Brown was born in December 1952. He dreamed of a life free from restrictions and built his family on those values. With Amy, whom he married in 1979, he raised 7 children and taught them to live off the land. To fans, Billy became the face of independence and adventure. But his health was fragile. Years of living in tough conditions took their toll. He suffered from lung and heart problems, and on February 7, 2021, Billy passed away at age 68 after a seizure at the family's Washington ranch. His death shocked fans worldwide. For his children, it was not just the loss of a father, but the end of the figure who had been their guide, their teacher, and the leader of their off-grid life. Without Billy, the family began to change. He had always been the anchor, and his absence forced each member to step into adulthood in a new way. His dream of freedom and survival still inspires them, but each child has taken a different path. Amy's survival. Amy Brown, born in 1963, became the emotional core of the family. Her calm presence balanced Billy's strong leadership. In 2017, fans were devastated to learn she had been diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. Doctors gave her just a 3% chance of survival. The Browns moved to Southern California so Amy could receive treatment. For months, the family worried if she would live to see another season. Miraculously, her cancer went into remission the following year. That survival became one of the most emotional moments in the history of the show. By 2025, Amy faced another health emergency, but this time she recovered quickly. She now shares her life online, posting gardening tips and outdoor adventures to more than 87,000 Instagram followers. Her resilience has turned her into a symbol of hope, showing that survival is not only about wilderness, but about strength in the face of illness. Matt's struggles. The eldest son, Matt Brown, was born in 1982. Being the firstborn carried high expectations, but his journey was rocky. He battled alcohol addiction for years, a struggle that eventually pushed him away from the family and the show. After a bizarre accident with gunpowder and ongoing personal problems, Matt left Alaskan Bush People during Season 8. Fans were divided. Some missed his energy, while others worried about his well-being. In 2019, Matt started a YouTube channel where he documents his life after leaving the show. With more than 48,000 subscribers, he has created a space where he talks openly about recovery, personal growth, and his time away from the spotlight. While no longer part of the TV series, Matt has built a following of people who admire his honesty and resilience. Bam Bam's privacy. Joshua Bam Bam Brown, born in 1984, grew up helping the family survive on fishing boats and in the wilderness. Unlike some of his siblings, he has always preferred privacy. In 2016, he began a relationship with Allison Kagan, a producer who worked on the show. Their connection grew into a long-term partnership. The couple even worked on restoring a ferry boat together, turning it into a shared project. Bam Bam occasionally shares moments from his life online, where he has nearly 200,000 followers, but compared to the others, he remains more reserved. His life shows a quieter side of the Browns, focused on personal happiness rather than public fame. Bear's roller coaster. Bear Brown, born in 1987, became famous on the show for his wild personality and adventurous stunts. Off-screen, his life has been filled with highs and lows. In March 2020, he and his partner Raven Adams welcomed their son, River Anthony. The arrival of River symbolized a new generation of the Brown family, but Bear's relationship with Raven was unstable. They separated and reconciled several times, and in 2025, Bear faced serious headlines when Raven filed for a restraining order, accusing him of threats and substance abuse. At the same time, Bear spoke publicly about rumors that Alaskan Bush People had been canceled, clarifying that the series was on hiatus. He has also teased possible new projects, including a YouTube series called The Next Generation of Alaskan Bush People. Gabe as father. Gabriel Brown, born in 1989, grew up on the family's fishing boat, but has since embraced a more settled life. In 2019, he married Raquel Rose Pantia, and they welcomed their daughter Sophia that same year. A second child arrived in 2021. Gabe has balanced his life as a father with work in construction and carpentry. He also expresses himself through art, drawing from the wilderness lifestyle he grew up in. Gabe once suffered a dangerous streptococcal infection during the same time his mother was receiving cancer treatment. Because of the risk, they were forced to live apart, creating one of the most emotional periods in the family's story. Today, Gabe continues to live quietly with his family, working hard to provide for his children. Noah's inventions. Noah Brown, born in 1992, was always known as the family's inventor. He built tools, gadgets, and clever machines to make off-grid life easier. In 2018, he married Rain Alicia, and together they had 2 sons, Elijah and Adam. But in January 2025, Noah and Rain announced their separation after 6 years of marriage. They revealed the news on TikTok, choosing to be open with fans about the end of their relationship. The breakup was painful, both for them and for viewers who had watched their family grow. Noah now focuses on his inventive projects, continuing to build tools and share his creative spirit with others. Snowbird's health battle. Snowbird Brown, born in 1994, was only 18 when the cameras started rolling. She quickly became a fan favorite for her strong and independent spirit. In later years, she opened an Etsy shop, Snowbird Crafts, where she sells handmade items. In 2022, Snowbird faced a terrifying health scare when doctors discovered large tumors in her abdomen. Though the tumors were not cancerous, the possibility of recurrence remains. In 2024, she updated fans, saying her health was stable. For many viewers, her story echoed her mother's, showing how the family has constantly had to fight for survival, not just in the wilderness, but against illness. Rain's new life. Rain Brown, born in 2002, was only 10 when the series began. She grew up in the public eye, and fans watched her transformation from child to adult. In December 2024, she confirmed her marriage to chef Josiah Lorton. She now goes by Rain Lorton online and frequently shares updates about her marriage and daily life. With over 400,000 followers on social media, Rain has become one of the most visible members of the family. She often posts about her relationship, her thoughts on life, and her journey away from the little girl audiences first met on Discovery Channel. Moving to Washington, one of the biggest changes for the family was leaving Alaska. When Amy was diagnosed with cancer, the family needed access to hospitals and better treatment. They relocated to a 435-acre ranch in Washington. This move represented more than just a change of scenery. It was a new chapter. The Browns still grow their own food, raise animals, and build with their hands. But they now live in a place where modern resources are available. Their Washington ranch, called North Star, has become both a sanctuary and a business opportunity. Some fans criticize the shift, saying it meant the family was no longer truly living in the bush. Others saw it as natural growth. After years of hardship, they found a balance between survival skills and modern convenience. The ranch allowed them to live sustainably while also being close to medical care and schools for the younger family members. The show ends. After 14 seasons, Alaskan Bush People quietly disappeared from Discovery Channel's lineup. No official cancellation was announced, but fans noticed the absence. The last new episodes aired in 2022, leaving audiences to wonder if the story was over. The silence led to rumors. Was the show canceled because of declining ratings? Was it the health crises that forced the family off-screen? Or was it something more complicated? Court documents revealed that Billy Brown's former business partner, Robert Mohn, had filed a lawsuit claiming he was promised 10% of Billy's creative works, but never received payment. The case dragged on, and in testimony, Amy Brown even referred to the show in the past tense. For many fans, that was the clearest sign that Alaskan Bush People had ended for good. Discovery Channel has never made a direct statement, but the lack of production activity since 2022 tells its own story. The wilderness saga that once drew millions of viewers seems to have reached its final chapter. Rumors and allegations. The Browns were not just battling lawsuits. For years, critics had accused them of staging parts of the show. Rumors spread that they did not always live full-time in the Alaskan wilderness, and legal charges were brought against them for falsely claiming Alaskan residency in order to receive government benefits. Billy Brown denied those allegations until his death, but the controversy left a mark. For fans who wanted to believe in the purity of the family's lifestyle, the accusations created doubt. Yet for others, the struggles only made the Browns more human. After all, surviving in modern America while raising a large family was never going to be simple. Health struggles continue. The Browns' transformation in 2025 is not only about location and money, it is also about survival in the most personal sense. Amy has fought cancer. Snowbird has faced tumors. Billy's health issues ended his life too soon. Even after moving to Washington, health problems haunted the family. Amy's emergency in early 2025 reminded fans that her battle is ongoing. Snowbird's risk of recurrence keeps her fans worried. And Gabe's earlier infection showed just how vulnerable the family has been to illness. The Browns built their fame on surviving harsh winters, wild animals, and isolation. But in truth, their greatest battle has been against the fragile nature of human health. Fractures in the family. Family unity has always been the central theme of Alaskan Bush People. But in recent years, cracks have started to appear. Noah and Rain's separation in January 2025 was the most public example. They made the announcement on TikTok, showing a willingness to be open but also hinting at the strain of living in the spotlight. Tensions flared in 2024 when Noah and Rain filed a protection order against Rain Brown, citing harassment. The request was denied, but it showed how complicated the relationships had become. Bear's legal disputes with Raven Adams, including restraining orders and public arguments, further revealed the stress the family faces. The Browns were once united in building cabins and catching fish together. Now they are divided across marriages, separations, and personal struggles. Each sibling is carving out their own life, sometimes in harmony, sometimes in conflict. Life at North Star Ranch. Their Washington ranch, known as North Star, has become the new center of their lives. The property covers more than 400 acres near the Canadian border, offering both space and resources. Here, the Browns have built gardens, raised livestock, and constructed new homes. Though no longer cut off from civilization, they maintain many of the survival skills that made them famous. Noah invents tools. Gabe works in carpentry. Bear still embraces outdoor adventure. Even in a more modern setting, their bush identity remains. For Billy, who once called the move a second chance at life, North Star represented both survival and adaptation. It was proof that even after Alaska, the family could create a life that combined old skills with new opportunities. Social media presence. The Browns may no longer appear on Discovery Channel, but they are not gone from the public eye. Each sibling has developed a social media presence, offering fans glimpses of their personal lives. Amy shares gardening tips with thousands of followers. Matt uploads videos about recovery on YouTube. Bam Bam occasionally posts about life with Allison. Bear shares updates about his son and teases future projects. Snowbird sells her crafts online. Rain posts about her marriage and her new life as Rain Lorton. The family that once seemed cut off from the modern world now connects daily with fans through phones and laptops. In a sense, their transformation reflects the world itself. They moved from isolation to constant connection. Spin-off possibilities. Even without Discovery Channel, there may still be a future for the Browns on screen. Bear has hinted at a project called The Next Generation of Alaskan Bush People, a YouTube-based series that would follow his adventures back in Alaska. There has also been talk of Alaskan Bush People behind the scenes, though nothing official has been confirmed. Fans remain eager for a return, whether in the form of a spin-off, a reboot, or simply more personal online content. The appetite for their story has not disappeared. Money and legacy. At the height of the show's success, the Browns were reported to be worth around $60 million. Billy earned as much as $500,000 per season, while the children earned between $40,000 and $60,000 each. Merchandise, public appearances, and side projects added to their wealth. Yet lawsuits and medical bills have likely reduced their fortune. Still, their legacy is more than financial. They proved that a family with determination could capture the imagination of millions simply by living differently. Cultural impact. Alaskan Bush People was not just a reality show, it became a cultural phenomenon. It combined the drama of family life with the thrill of survival. For many viewers, watching the Browns was like watching a modern frontier story unfold. The Browns represented freedom, independence, and resilience. They showed what it meant to fight for survival, not just against nature but against illness, poverty, and even the pressures of fame. By 2025, their story has become more complicated. They are no longer the simple wilderness family audiences first met in Alaska. They are a group of individuals shaped by grief, illness, conflict, and growth. That transformation, while shocking, also makes them more human. So what happens next? Will Bear's spin-off succeed? Will Discovery Channel revive the show? Or will the Browns remain online personalities and small business owners? The truth is, no one knows for sure. What is clear is that their story is not over. Each sibling is continuing to grow, each facing challenges and opportunities. The wilderness may no longer be their home, but the fight to survive, adapt, and find meaning still defines their lives. The Browns' journey is far from finished. Subscribe now and join us as we continue following their shocking transformation in 2025 and beyond. Their wilderness story has only entered a new chapter.